Ladies and gentlemen, as you walk through life, as you chase your dreams, as you reach for success, I ask you, are you putting God first? We live in a world that glorifies achievement, degrees, promotions, wealth, fame. We are told these define us. But let me tell you something. You can have all the success in the world and still feel empty if God is not the foundation of your life. Success is often measured by the things we achieve: degrees, careers, wealth, recognition. Society teaches us that these are the markers of a life well lived. But let me ask you something. What happens when you reach the top and still feel empty? What happens when the applause fades and you're left alone with yourself? Success by itself is just a temporary illusion. You can climb the highest mountains, break every record, and still feel like something is missing. Why? Because success without purpose is meaningless. It's like chasing the wind, grabbing hold of something that will never truly satisfy you. We've seen it time and time again, people who seemingly have everything but feel lost. The wealthiest, the most famous, the most accomplished individuals who still battle with unhappiness, anxiety, and a deep sense of emptiness. Why? Because true fulfillment doesn't come from external success. It comes from having a purpose that is bigger than yourself. And where does that purpose come from? It comes from putting God first. It comes from recognizing that everything you have, every talent, every opportunity, every breath, it's all a gift. When you acknowledge that, your perspective shifts. Success is no longer about personal gain. It becomes about using what you have for something greater. Imagine a person who spends their whole life building an empire, but never takes the time to ask, why am I doing this? Imagine someone who earns millions, but never uses a cent to help another soul. That's not real success. That's just accumulation. And accumulation without purpose is just a burden. But when you put God first, success transforms. It's no longer just about reaching the top. It's about lifting others along the way. It's about understanding that your blessings are not just for you, they are meant to be shared. It's about knowing that the greatest success isn't in what you acquire, but in what you give. When God is your foundation, you don't chase success just for the sake of status or wealth. You chase impact. You chase meaning. You chase a legacy that lasts beyond you. Money can fade, titles can be lost, fame can disappear, but a life built on faith and purpose, that stands the test of time. So I say this: put God first, and success will take on a whole new meaning. It won't be empty. It won't leave you feeling lost. It won't be just about what you have. It will be about who you are becoming and how you are serving the world. Because true success isn't measured by trophies, but by purpose. And purpose starts with faith. Dreaming big is essential. It fuels ambition, ignites passion, and pushes us beyond our limits. But a dream without direction can lead to frustration. A goal without a foundation can collapse under pressure. That's why it's not enough to just dream. You have to trust in God's plan for your life. How many times have you set your heart on something only to watch it slip through your fingers? How many times have you worked tirelessly toward a goal only to hit roadblock after roadblock? It's frustrating, it's exhausting, and it can make you question everything. But let me tell you something. Sometimes what we want is not what we need. Sometimes our plans are too small compared to what God has in store. We have limited vision. We see what's in front of us, what we think will make us happy, what seems like the best path. But God sees beyond that. He sees where each road leads, where each decision will take us. And sometimes He closes doors, not to punish us, but to protect us, not to discourage us, but to redirect us towards something greater. That's why trusting God's plan is just as important as having a dream. Because you can aim high, but without divine direction, you might be aiming at the wrong target. You might be chasing something that looks good on the outside, but is empty on the inside. You might be pursuing success, but not purpose. And what good is success if it's not aligned with God's will? This doesn't mean you sit back and wait for everything to fall into place. Faith without action is nothing. You still have to work. You still have to push yourself. You still have to show up every single day. But as you do, you pray. You listen, and you allow God to guide your steps. There will be moments when things don't go your way, moments when you feel lost, when doors slam shut, when you question if you're even on the right path. But that's when faith comes in. That's when you trust that God knows what he's doing, even when you don't. Because he is not just the God of open doors, he is also the God of detours, the God of delays, and the God of not yet. And every step, even the difficult ones, are leading you exactly where you need to be. But don't just chase any dream, chase the one God has for you. Chase the dream that aligns with his plan, the one that brings not just success, but fulfillment. Because when your dreams and God's purpose align, you won't just achieve great things. You will walk in the destiny he created just for you. And that, my friends, is a dream worth chasing. Failure is one of the hardest things to accept. No one sets out on a journey expecting to fall. No one starts a business, a career, or a relationship planning for it to collapse. But let me tell you something. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of it. Every person who has ever achieved anything great has encountered failure. The difference between those who rise and those who stay down is one thing: perspective. We often look at failure as the end of the road. We think if we mess up, if we fall short, if we don't get what we work so hard for, then it must mean we weren't good enough. It must mean we weren't meant to succeed. But that's not true. Failure is not rejection, it's redirection. Every failure is a lesson, every setback a setup for something greater. Think about it: when a child is learning to walk, they fall. Not once, not twice, but over and over again. But they don't stop trying. They don't sit on the floor and say, well, I guess walking just isn't for me. No, they get up. They keep moving. And eventually they walk. Why? Because that's how learning works. Falling is not failure, it's part of the process. The same is true in life. When you fail, it doesn't mean you are not capable. It doesn't mean you are not worthy. It means you are learning, you are growing, you are being prepared. And sometimes God allows failure not to break you, but to build you. Sometimes he lets things fall apart so he can put them together the right way. Think about the times in your life when you didn't get what you wanted, the job you didn't get, the relationship that didn't work out, the opportunity that slipped away. Maybe at the time you were devastated, but looking back, you realize it was for the best, because what you thought was a loss was really a blessing in disguise. God doesn't waste pain. He doesn't waste failures. He uses them to shape you, to teach you, to strengthen you. Every setback you face is an opportunity to grow. Every mistake you make is a chance to learn. The question is, will you let failure define you? So when you fail, and you will, don't run from it, don't let it stop you. Embrace it. Learn from it. Trust that God is using it for a greater purpose. Because every failure is a setup for a comeback. Every delay is preparation for something bigger. And every closed door is leading you to the right one. Keep going, keep pushing, keep believing. Because the only true failure is giving up. Your skills, they are not just for you. They were never meant to be locked away, hidden, or used only for personal gain. The abilities you have, the knowledge you acquire, the influence you gain, they are tools given to you by God to serve others. People think success is measured by how much they have. They chase wealth, status, and recognition, believing that accumulating more will bring fulfillment. But here's the truth. Real success isn't about what you get. It's about what you give. Because at the end of the day, no amount of money, no number of awards, no level of fame will matter if your life hasn't impacted others. Think about a candle. A candle doesn't lose anything by lighting another candle. In fact, when it shares its flame, it spreads more light. The same is true with your gifts. When you use them to uplift, inspire, and help others, you don't lose anything, you multiply your impact. But that requires a mindset shift. Instead of asking, what can I get? Start asking, what can I give? Instead of focusing on how high you can climb, think about how many people you can bring with you. Because success without service is empty. But success that blesses others, that's purpose. That's fulfillment. That's what lasts. Look around the world and you'll see people who had everything, money, power, influence, but still felt empty. Why? Because they were only focused on themselves. But then, look at those who dedicated their lives to serving others, who used their gifts to make a difference. They may not have been the richest, but they were the most fulfilled, because true happiness comes from giving, not just receiving. Maybe your gift is speaking, maybe it's writing, maybe you are a leader, an innovator, an artist, a teacher. Whatever it is, don't keep it to yourself. Use it, share it, pour into others. Because when you do, something incredible happens. You create a legacy. You make an impact that outlives you. And here's the amazing part. When you use your gifts to serve, you are never left empty, because God blesses those who bless others. The more you give, the more you receive, not just in material ways, but in peace, in joy, in purpose. So don't hold back. Don't waste what God has given you. Your talent is not just for you, it's for the world. And when you use it the way it was intended, to uplift, to encourage, to make a difference, you won't just succeed, you'll live a life that truly matters. The world teaches us that success is about status. It tells us that the more money we make, the more recognition we gain, the more powerful we become, the better our lives will be. And so people chase wealth, they chase fame, they chase influence, believing that if they just achieve enough, they will finally feel fulfilled. But let me ask you something. If success alone could bring peace, why are so many of the wealthiest, most famous people still searching for something more? Why do we see people who seem to have it all still feeling lost, anxious, and unsatisfied? Because true fulfillment doesn't come from material success. It comes from faith. You can have everything the world offers, but if you don't have God, you will always feel like something is missing. Money can buy comfort, but it can't buy peace. Popularity can bring attention, but it can't bring purpose. Achievements can give temporary satisfaction, but they can't fill the emptiness in your soul. Only faith can do that. We were never meant to rely on success to define us. We were created for something greater. That's why no matter how much we accomplish, if God is not at the center, it will never feel like enough. Because success without faith is like a building without a foundation. It looks strong on the outside, but it can collapse at any moment. But when you put God first, everything changes. Your definition of success shifts. It's no longer just about how much you have, it's about how much you give. It's no longer just about how high you climb, it's about how well you serve. It's no longer about impressing people, it's about fulfilling your purpose. And the best part, when your faith is strong, you don't have to chase happiness, it finds you. You don't have to constantly prove your worth because you already know that you are valued in God's eyes. You don't have to fear failure because you trust that every step, every challenge, every setback is part of His greater plan. So don't be fooled by the world's definition of success. Don't build your life on things that won't last. Money comes and goes, fame fades, achievements are forgotten. But a life built on faith, that stands forever. Put God first. In your career, in your relationships, in your decisions. Let Him guide you, let Him shape you, let Him be the foundation of everything you do. Because when faith is your foundation, success is no longer about what you gain, it's about who you become. And that is the kind of success that truly matters. You stand at the edge of your future filled with dreams, ambitions, and goals. You want to succeed, to make an impact, to build a life that means something. That's good. That's necessary. But let me tell you this, none of it will matter if you don't put God first. Because here's the truth, No amount of money, fame, or power will ever replace the presence of God in your life. You can have the biggest house, the highest position, and the most recognition, but without faith, without a foundation built on something greater than yourself, it will never be enough. Look around. The world is full of people who have achieved everything they ever wanted, yet they still feel empty. They are successful but not fulfilled. They are admired but not at peace. They have everything except the one thing that truly matters: a connection with God. And that's because success, as the world defines it, is temporary. It's fragile. It's based on external things, on what people think of you, on what you own, on what you achieve. But faith is eternal. It is unshakable. It is the foundation that keeps you standing when everything else falls apart. When you put God first, you don't just chase success, you chase purpose. You don't just work for wealth, you work for meaning. You don't just seek recognition, you seek impact. Because real success is not just about getting ahead, it's about walking in alignment with your purpose. Putting God first means trusting Him in every decision. It means letting Him guide your steps instead of trying to control everything yourself. It means understanding that your plans may not always work out, but His plan is always greater. It also means being willing to walk away from things that don't serve His purpose for your life. Not every opportunity is the right opportunity. Not every open door leads to where you need to go. Sometimes, what looks like a setback is actually protection. Sometimes, what feels like rejection is actually redirection. So when things don't go your way, don't get discouraged, don't lose faith. Remember that God sees the full picture while you only see a small piece. If He closes a door, it's because He has something better. If He delays your success, it's because He's preparing you for something greater. But you have to be willing to trust Him. You have to be willing to put Him first, not just when things are good, not just when it's convenient, but always. Because when you do that, your life won't just be successful, it will be meaningful. It will be built on something unshakable. So go after your dreams. Work hard, be ambitious, but above all, put God first. Because when you do, you will not only reach success, you will find true fulfillment, peace, and purpose along the way. Success is not about wealth, fame, or status. It's about purpose, faith, and impact. It's about who you become, not just what you achieve. The world will tell you to chase money, to chase power, to chase recognition. But let me tell you something. If God is not first in your life, nothing else will ever truly satisfy you. Put Him first in everything, in your dreams, in your decisions, in your failures, in your success. Because when God is your foundation, you will not only reach the heights of success, you will do it with peace, with purpose, and with fulfillment. So don't just build a career, build a legacy. Don't just seek success, seek significance. Don't just chase dreams, chase the destiny God has planned for you. And remember this, true success is not measured by what you gain, but by what you give. It's not about the applause of the world, but the approval of God. When you put Him first, you don't just win in life, you live a life that truly matters. I challenge you, put God first in everything you do, in every decision you make, in every dream you chase, and watch as He leads you to a life greater than anything you could have planned for yourself. Thank you.